Jai Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Juki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Juki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shatashishmar Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja Śrīla Gurudev Ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shatashishmar Bhaktivedānta Vaman Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shatashishmar Bhaktivedānta Swami Mahārāja Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shatashishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shatashishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Shila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopala Bhattadasa Raghunath Shard Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Shila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Śrī Advaita Śrīvāsa Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Sarva Abhishta Bharakta Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda Ki Jai Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya Ki Jai Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Jai Śrī Advaita Ācārya Ki Jai Mahavishnur Avatar Śrī Advaita Chandra Ki Jai Jai sorry, one second. What was Advaitacharya's father's name? His mother's name was Navadevi. And sorry, my mind just went blank. Anyways, Jai Śrī Advaita Ācārya Titi Ki Jai Advaita Saptamī Ki Jai Advaita Saptamī Titi Palan Kari Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo Hare Krishna everybody, Dandavat Pranams. Jai Shri Sita Thakurani Ki Jai. What's his other wife's name? Shri Devi Ki Jai. Shri Achyutananda Ki Jai. Jai. Gaur Advaita Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hari Bol, everybody. Today is a little bit of a strange morning for me. Oh God. So my mind's a little bit distracted. But okay. So today we're going to read a class by my Śrīla Gurudev that it was in this book. Where is it? The Treasury of Holy Days. I don't have it here. Anyhow, oh wait, it's right there. One second. We're reading from this book right here, A Treasury of Holy Days by Śrīmad Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja. This book was previously published as Śrī Prabandhavali. So I'll be reading, I think it's chapter 7. And then after that, if Śrīvāsa is able to make it, Śrīvāsa says that he found something really interesting, with many very interesting details about appearance of Advaita Ācārya, some Bengali thing that he found. One second, I'm just checking on Restream. Everything's going okay. All right. So I will share my screen. And actually just now, while I was in the middle of Jaidvani, God, this is really bad. But anyhow, when I was in the middle of Jaidvani, I sent out on the Gaudiya Kirtan mailing list the Advaita Ācārya appearance song. So let's see. Did it send? Oh, it didn't send. Oops. Here, you want to watch me send this out? So you can see from the back end how I do this. Okay, so here, this is MailChimp. I send everything from MailChimp. Send time, resolve. Send now. Okay, so anybody who's on the Gaudiya Kirtan mailing list should get this in their inbox right now. Okay, send. Boom. Sending to 704 subscribers. All right. Okay, should be in the email now. Let's see. There it is. Okay. I actually sent it out on the mailing list so that I could get it in my own inbox so that we could sing it in this program. But maybe, well, let's sing it afterwards when there's more people joining, because right now, oh, Haribol, Kishore Prabhu, Banshiwala Prabhu, Shubhananda Prabhu, Rup Manjari Didi. Oh, and today is Rup Manjari's and Rukmini Didi's, their mother's birthday. Deva Mai Didi. Oh, great. And it went in Rup Manjari's main box. Great. It didn't go into the promotions folder. So Deva Mai Didi ki jai. Shrimati Deva Mai Didi ki jai. Oh, oh, and sorry, I didn't even notice Nri Hari Prabhu and Bhavatarani Mataji. Dandavat pranams. Sorry, my mind is very frazzled right now because I just got like 3 messages all at the same time. That's why I started late. Okay, so let's open up. Actually, no, we're gonna open it up here. Okay. Prabandhavali. So this book is comprised of classes that my Gurudev gave in, I think, around like 1991 in Mathura Keshavji Gaudiya Math. I think it's that time period. So this is a class that I gave it. Oh, it's also Kishore's birthday today. Wow, Kishore is born on the same day as Devamai Didi. That's really neat. Okay. Chapter 7, Advaita Saptamī. Advaita Saptamī is the day that Advaita Ācārya appeared in this world. Advaita Ācārya, the cause of the material world, comes first. After that, Nityananda Prabhu comes on the day of Trayodashi. And then Śrī Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself comes on Purnima, descending into this world with the effulgence of Radha Bhav. In this way, the pastimes of Mahaprabhu begin. Vande tang Śrīmad Advaitācārya-carita-sudhā yasya prasadad agyopi tat sarupam nirupayet. That's Śrī Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila 6.1. I pray to Advaita Ācārya, who performs especially wonderful pastimes, that by his mercy, I may be able to describe this difficult tattva easily. What are these wonderful pastimes? Seeing Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Prabhu began complaining. Where has this avadut come from? Today he has come to our home and thrown prasad in all directions. He has no knowledge of what class he belongs to. Actually, he has no class at all. We are Brahmins. We are the best of society. And he has dropped prasad on the bodies of everyone here. Then Nityananda Prabhu said, Hey, Aparadi, you are committing an offense to Mahaprasad. You consider it to be mere food and that it is merely being thrown around? You can't see that it bestows good fortune and that whoever's body is touched by this prasad at once crosses over Maya? In this way, there was generally some quarreling between them. When they would go for bathing, then certainly there would be quarreling. At that time, Nityananda Prabhu was very young. Mahaprabhu was the youngest. Next came Nityananda, and the oldest of all was Advaita Ācārya, whose thoughts are sometimes very difficult to understand. Hari Bol, Hari Priya Didi. One second, let me just, I can't even see the Zoom thing. Let me just, one second. View. Hey, sorry guys. How come it zooms? Not letting me see. Okay, that's strange. Show video panel. Oh, okay. Oh, Haribol Krishnamaya Didi. Sorry, I couldn't see it, everybody who was here before. Okay. So Advaita Acharya, whose thoughts are sometimes, Advaita Acharya's thoughts are sometimes very difficult to understand. He sent a mysterious sonnet to Mahaprabhu. It says, Baal ke kohiho loka hoilo baal ke kohiho hate na bikai chaul. Baal ke kohiho kae nahi ka aul. Baal ke kohiho iha kohiyache baal. That's from Śrī Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya Lila 19, verses 20 to 21. One madman is sending a message to another madman. There is no longer necessity for rice in the marketplace, so it is time for the shop to be closed. There's no longer necessity for rice in the marketplace, so it's time for the shop to be closed. No one could understand this sonnet. Upon reading it, Mahaprabhu was a little indifferent. Only Swarup Damodar could understand a little of Advaita Acharya's mood. No one else could understand. And he said that one madman, Advaita Acharya, who is mad with Krishna Prem, is sending a message to another madman, Śrī Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the one who made the world mad with Krishna Prem, the original madness. There is no longer necessity for rice, means that Prem has been given to everyone, and now the task is completed. Therefore, the shop should be closed. That means your pastimes in the material world should now come to a close. But no one understood this. Only Swarup Damodar could know something of its meaning. In this way, Advaita Acharya's pastimes were mysterious and wonderful. Although the gist of Bhagavad Gita advocates bhakti, at the time of Advaita Prabhu's appearance, no one was explaining it in that way. The message of the Gita is full of devotion. Vishate tad anantaram. It's Bhagavad Gita 1855. Means, ultimately, he enters into me. Advaitavadis interpret this to mean that Bhagavan and the Jiva merge in Brahman and become one. They say that by chanting Aham Brahmasmi and practicing meditation, the apparent individuality of the souls merge in the end, and that the material world is false. Advaita Acharya, first of all, gave the explanation of bhakti from these verses. Satatam kirtayanto mam, that's Bhagavad Gita 9:14. Ananyas chintayanto mam, ye jana paripashate, 9:22. And bhakti labhate param, 18:54. In the end, we will attain bhakti by the medium of the precepts described in these verses. Then, vishate tar anantaram, we enter into bhakti. Not that we meet Bhagavan in Brahman, entering into undifferentiated light. Vishate means that we enter into his dham and attain his service. But some people were trying to change the meaning. After some time, Advaita Acharya went to Shantipur and also started explaining the meaning of Vishate Tad Anantaram as Aham Brahmasmi. All souls will merge in Brahman. Hearing of this, Mahaprabhu went there and pulled his beard and beat him until Sita Devi, Advaita Acharya's wife, came and protected him. This is also wonderful because having been beaten, Śrī Advaita became very pleased and started dancing. Previously, Mahaprabhu was offering pranam to him and offering him respect befitting one's guru because Advaita Prabhu was a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. Mahaprabhu was thinking, he is a disciple of my Param Guru, so it is my duty to offer pranam and seva to him. He is worshipful to me, and therefore I should serve and worship him. For ridding himself of this service, Advaita Acharya became the impersonalist Nirvisheshavad. For ridding himself of this service, Advaita Acharya gave the impersonalist Nirvisheshavad explanation of Bhagavad Gita. When Mahaprabhu became angry and started beating him, Advaita Acharya said, "Today my life has become successful. I wanted you to accept service from me because you are senior to me. Who can possibly be senior to you?" Mahaprabhu then became shy. Another time, Mahaprabhu said to his mother Shachi Devi, I will not show love to you anymore because you have disrespected a devotee. You have committed Vaishnav Aparad. You told Advaita Prabhu that your name Advaita, meaning non-dual, is not suitable. Rather, your name should be Dvaita, dual. You are not Advaita, you are Dvaita. What you said was that Advaita Ācārya brings duality, separation in relationships, that he separates a mother from her son, a father from his son, a brother from his brother. Advaita Ācārya explains the path of devotion, thereby breaking the chains that bind one to the material world. A mother has natural affection for her offspring. But if Advaita Prabhu is able to increase someone's spontaneous attraction towards Krishna, then what could be greater than that? If someone is giving the instruction that the jiva has forgotten Bhagavan for millions of births, and then establishes sambandha, knowledge of our true relationship with Bhagavan, and sadhya, the final attainment, and gives instruction for bhajan that cuts the chains that bind us to the material world, then what could be greater than that? Shachi Devi replied, he separated me from my beloved Vishwarup. He gave such instruction that it separated me from Vishwarup, who left home and became a sannyasi. Therefore, Advaita means that person whom having met once, one will not desire anything within this world. So his name should be Dvaita instead. Mahaprabhu said, since you spoke to a devotee in this way, none of us will show you love anymore. As she stood there, everyone told her that because she had committed an offense at the feet of Advaita Ācārya, they could not show any love to her. Then Shachi Devi went to beg forgiveness from Advaita Ācārya. But instead, he fell at her feet and said, you are the mother of the entire world. It is not possible for you to commit any offense. But all right, if someone says that there has been some offense, then I say it is hereby forgiven. Then Shachi Devi returned to Mahaprabhu and everything was set right. Many wonderful pastimes like this were performed by Śrī Advaita Prabhu. Advaita Ācārya was also instrumental in bringing Śrī Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to this world. At the end of Dwapar Yuga, upon completing his pastimes in this world and returning to Goloka Vrindavan, Shri Krishna Chandra thought, I have 3 desires that have not yet been fulfilled. Understanding the glories of Radhika's love, discovering the sweetness that she finds within me, and tasting that sweetness, without assuming the sentiment of Radhika herself and the effulgence of her form, it will not be possible to experience these 3 things. I have tasted Sakyaras, Vatsalyaras, and Madhuryaras, but as yet I have been unable to experience what her happiness is upon seeing me, and what is the nature of her prem for me. In order to experience this, I must again go to the material world. At that time, it was necessary for the Yuga Dharma to be given. The age of Kali, which lasts for 332,000 years, had come. Ordinarily, at the end of each Yuga, an incarnation of Bhagavan comes. Just as at the end of Treta Yuga, Ramachandra came, and at the end of Dwapar Yuga, Krishna came. Such a Yuga avatar comes when the disorder in the material world has reached its highest limit. Dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Bhagavad Gita 4:8. In order to reestablish the principles of religion, I appear millennium after millennium. Bhagavan thinks, just see how much sinful activity is increasing and how the chaos is escalating due to the demons. When should I descend? So there are actually 4 reasons for Mahaprabhu's descent. 2 are primary and 2 are secondary. The most primary reason is for tasting the prem of Radhika. And the second reason is Anarpita charim chirat karunaya vatirna kalo samarpayitum unatojvala rasam swabhakti shriyam. It's Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 4th verse from the beginning. By his causeless mercy, he appears in the age of Kali to bestow what no incarnation has ever offered before. Unnata Ujjvala Ras, the most sublime amorous mellow in his own service. Mahaprabhu wanted to give a specific wealth of prem to the jivas that had never been bestowed by any previous incarnations. Unnata Ujjvala Ras, the Parakiya Bhav of the gopis. There are two kinds of Unnata Ujjvala Parakiya Ras. One kind, the sentiment of Radhika, is not givable, but the other, the sentiment of the Nitya Sakis and the Pran Sakis who serve Radha and who, following her, also serve Krishna, that Unnata Ujjvala Ras can be given. Therefore, to bestow the highest prem upon all jivas and to taste the prem of Radhika, Krishna comes. Oops. His third reason for coming is to preach the Yuga Dharma, Nam Sankirtan. And the fourth reason is Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glanir Bhavati Bharata Abhyuttanam Adharmasya Tadatmanam Srajamyaham. That's Bhagavad Gita 4:7. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend. So these are the four reasons. Krishna was thinking, when should I go to establish the Yuga Dharma descending at the end of Kali? To establish the Yuga Dharma descending at the end of the Yuga is all right. But if instead I preach Nam Sankirtan at the beginning of the Yuga, the degrading influence of the Yuga will have a lesser effect on the jivas. When should I give the sentiment of the gopis? And when should I taste the love of Radhika? He was considering all of these things. Meanwhile, Advaita Ācārya saw that bhakti was gradually disappearing from the world, and he thought, now is the appropriate time for Krishna's incarnation. If he doesn't come now, what will happen later? At the same time, he was also thinking this in the form of Karnadakshay Vishnu. He was pondering in that place where sattva, rajas, and tamas are all in the same position. There are two causes of the world. One is upadan, the ingredient cause, and the other is nimitta, the efficient cause. Haribo Suryavedidi. Okay, so there's the upadan, the ingredient cause, and the nimitta, the efficient cause. Mahavishnu himself is the nimitta cause, and his part, Advaita Ācārya, is the upadan cause. Advaita Ācārya is the ingredient cause, okay. Suppose I were to point to someone and say, this man is a hooligan, thief, and a liar. Grab him and throw him outside. He should never be allowed in here again. Now, you may not know him, but by my saying this, you throw him out. So who is the cause of him being thrown out? By my order, you grabbed this man and ejected him. So you are the upadan cause, and I am the nimitta cause. But who is the real cause of the man being ejected? By his own misbehavior, the man himself is the cause. And this is exactly the situation regarding the creation of the material world. Karnadakshay Vishnu assumes two forms to create the material world, as the efficient cause and the ingredient cause. When the two of them come together, countless Brahmandas are generated. But if Bhagavan did not inject his desire, then what? In any activity, there is first the desire for it to take place. Therefore, the desire of Mahavishnu is the primary cause, and dependent on his desire is the desire of Advaita Ācārya, which is the secondary cause. In this way, Karnadakshay Vishnu performs the activity of creating the world, and his incarnation is Advaita Ācārya. Advaita Ācārya Goshai Shakshat Ishvar, Jahar Mahima Nahe, Jiver Gochar. That's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila 6:6. Śrī Advaita Ācārya is directly the Ishvara himself. His glories cannot be comprehended by ordinary living beings. From the Mahat Tattva, false ego arises. From false ego comes sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. Next come the 11 senses, and next are the 5 material elements. That makes 22, and with the intelligence in mind, it makes 24. Then adding Prakriti, Purusha, Atma, and Paramatma makes 28 aspects of Tattva altogether. Leaving aside Bhagavan and Jivatma, only the remainder are accepted by the Sankhya and Nyaya schools of thought. Ye Purusha Shrishti Stiti Koren Mayai Ananta Brahmanda Shrishti Koren Lilai. Ichai Ananta Murti Koren Prakash Ek Murti Koren Brahmande Pravesh. She Purusher Angshad Advaita Nahi Kichu Bhed Sharir Vishesh Tar Nahi Ko Viched Shahai Koren Tar Loya Pradhan Koti Brahmanda Koren Ichai. Koti Brahmanda Koren Ichai Nirman. That's Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 6, verses 8 to 11. Mahavishnu performs the function of creation of all the material universes, and Advaita Ācārya is directly an incarnation of him. Creating and maintaining these countless universes by his external energy is his pastime, and by his own will, he expands into countless forms and enters into each and every universe. Advaita Ācārya is a non-different part and parcel of Mahavishnu, or in other words, another form of him. Some say that nature enacts the process of creation by itself, and they give this example. A cow eats grass, and automatically milk is produced. What is the necessity of anyone else in this process? In this way, nature does everything by itself. To refute this, an innocent, less educated Vaishnava said, the cow eats grass and then gives milk. So why then doesn't the bull eat grass and also give milk? Does he need to eat more grass? The Pandit of the Sankhya school had to think for a moment. Then he said, concerning the upadankas, to make a house, all elements such as bricks are necessary. Then the Vaishnava said, so if by bricks or cement a house will be made, then here we will place 1,000 kilos of cement, 10,000 bricks, an entire lake of water, and wood and marble also. Will that make a house? By the upadan only, it will not happen because it needs the nimittakas. There may be a pen and paper, but by themselves, will they write? Therefore, by the material creation alone, creation will not take place as long as the desire of Bhagavan is not there. No action can take place by itself in the material world. So therefore, this Prakritivad philosophy is erroneous. Prakriti means matter. Purusha is conscious. And when both come together, there is creation. In Prakriti, there is no action, no innate desire. It is inert matter. But when it is activated by the Purusha, then automatically the task is accomplished. The communists say, what is the need of God in this? Nature creates by itself. But there is no one in the world who can create by himself. A lame man and a blind man were going somewhere together, and the lame man said, take me on your shoulders. Seeing with my eyes, I will tell you to go right, left, or straight on the path. And with your legs, we will go there. Otherwise, you will not be able to go there, and neither will I. Working together, they reach their desired destination. In this example, the lame man is conscious, and the blind man is also conscious. And both being conscious, the work was done. But in creation, only Bhagavan is conscious, and nature is not. Without at least one conscious being, no work in the world can be done. These issues may seem a little dry, but they are very important and tasteful points related to bhakti, and Vaishnavas should make an effort to understand them. In all of this tattva, the root cause of the material world is Krishna, because originally he injects his desire. He becomes two kinds of sankarshan, the root sankarshan and mahasankarshan. From mahasankarshan, he becomes Karna Dakshay Vishnu, and subsequently he becomes Advaita Ācārya and the Upadan cause. Some people say that the Upadan cause is separate from Bhagavan, that the Upadan cause of the material world is not Bhagavan. They say that he may be the Nimitta cause, but he cannot be the Upadan cause. But besides Krishna, there is nothing. So from where has the material world come? From where has the Mahat Tattva come? It has also come from the desire of Krishna. There is nothing in all of existence that is separate from him. Karna Dakshay manifests the creation and the Mahat Tattva, nature herself. Karna Dakshay manifests the creation, and the Mahat Tattva, nature herself, is thus non-different from him. To correct the souls that have forgotten Bhagavan, Prakriti is manifest by his desire and gives the jiva an external form. The jiva may consider his placement in that condition of life to be an opportunity for great happiness, but actually it is punishment. Just like when a crazy man dances around naked, people will beat him, and without eating or drinking, he wanders around. He says, "I am the king," or "I am the prime minister," and he thinks himself to be happy. Our condition is exactly like that. We may consider ourselves happy, but in reality, we are not in a happy condition at all. Thus, Advaita Ācārya was thinking, the world has become atheistic. One after another, people are forgetting Bhagavan, and for me to rectify them alone is not possible. To bring devotion to the non-devotees will be very, very difficult work. Without the Shakti of Krishna himself, it simply cannot be done. Besides devotees, there are so many people in the world who are preaching, but they are all preaching Maya. They are preaching twisted philosophies, and seeing this, Śrī Advaita thought, they have no relation with Bhagavan, and they do not preach bhakti. Even when they do preach from Śrīmad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, they express only the desires of their minds. They are indifferent to Sanatan Dharma and pure devotion, and all of them, especially the Mayavadis, will only hear what they want to hear. Defeating Ravan was not a very difficult thing, and killing Kamsa was also not a difficult thing. These actions could have been done by a Vishnu incarnation. But changing the thinking of these Mayavadis is very difficult. Only if Krishna himself comes into this world will it be possible. Since Advaita Prabhu was at least 60 years old when Mahaprabhu appeared, he was the oldest of all of Mahaprabhu's associates. Nityananda Prabhu was approximately 5 years older than Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu's plan was that he would first arrange for his devotees to appear in this world, and then he would descend himself. When Advaita Ācārya appeared first, and seeing the condition of the world, he thought, how will I call Krishna? There are so many types of worship of Krishna, but amongst all of these, the glories of Tulsi are the greatest. Krishna will be so pleased with anyone who offers him a Tulsi leaf and Ganga water that it will overpower him. Thus he took a Tulsi bud, 2 soft leaves with a manjari in the middle, and with great prem and tears flowing from his eyes, he worshipped Krishna beside the Ganga. Krishna was originally thinking, when will I descend? Maybe in 10 or 20,000 years, or maybe even after 100,000 years. But upon hearing Advaita Ācārya's prayer, he came at once. Therefore, Advaita Ācārya is another primary reason for the descent of Mahaprabhu. At birth, Śrī Advaita was given the name Kamalaksha because his eyes were as beautiful as lotus petals. He appeared at Srihata in East Bengal. Staying sometimes in Navadvip and sometimes in Shantipur, he began preaching Bhakti. He was there in Navadvip when Mahaprabhu took birth. Vishwarup attended Advaita Prabhu's school. One day, Mother Shachi told Nimai to go and call his brother. So when he arrived at the school, Nimai glanced in the direction of Advaita and said, "What do you see? You called me here and you don't recognize me? When the proper time comes, you will certainly recognize me." There are unlimited incarnations of Vishnu, and they are all non-different from Krishna, but their activities and pastimes are different. Therefore, because Advaita Acharya is non-different from Hari, he is Advaita. And because he manifested Bhakti in all directions, he is known as Acharya. Something that really irks me more than really makes me upset. Anyways, it's not. Why am I saying this? He is capitalized with Krishna's name and with Karanadaksha Vishnu and all of Vishnu, but it's not capitalized with Advaita Acharya. Anyways, that's a mistake. In the next edition, all these will definitely be uppercase. Anyways, okay. So because Advaita Acharya is non-different from Hari, he is Advaita, and because he manifested Bhakti in all directions, he is known as Acharya. How did he preach Bhakti? If anyone was born in a Shudra family, a Muslim family, or any family, and performed Bhagavad Bhajan, Advaita Prabhu considered him better than a Brahman who didn't engage in bhajan. If there is someone who has taken birth in a high Brahmin family, if there is someone who has taken birth in a high Brahmin family, is an eminent scholar, of good conduct, speaks the truth and never lies, but does not engage in Bhagavad Bhajan, then he is inferior to one who has taken birth in a Shudra family or in a family of cremation ground workers, if that person just cries out, "Krishna, Krishna," and does no other spiritual activity whatsoever. Even if he just calls out Krishna, Krishna and does nothing else, no other spiritual activity, that Shudra or that cremation ground family person is superior to the Brahman of all good qualities. That Shudra is superior to a Chaturvedi Brahman. Advaita Acharya proved this point and preached it. Haridas Thakur was born in a Muslim family. At the Shraddh ceremony of Advaita Acharya's father, the highest seat and prasad were to be offered first to the most elevated person. Advaita Acharya was performing the ceremony when the moon was in the appropriate place in the month of Ashwin. All the high-class Brahmins were there, Bhattacharya, Trivedi, Chaturvedi, Upadhyaya, and all of them were great scholars. After washing their feet, Advaita Acharya showed them to their respective seats. In front was an elevated seat, and Advaita Prabhu was standing and thinking, who will I seat here? All of the scholars are thinking, I know so many scriptures, certainly I will be offered that seat. Silently, they were all aspiring for it. Advaita Acharya then went outside the house and saw Haridas Thakur wearing a langoti and sitting at the door. Haridas was thinking, the Brahmins will take their meal here, so Advaita Acharya will certainly give us a little of their prasad. Haridas was thinking, the Brahmins will take their meal here, so Advaita Acharya will certainly give us a little of their prasad. He had so much humility that he was thinking that if he went inside, the house would be contaminated. At once, Advaita Acharya embraced him, and Haridas Thakur said, "Oh, you are a Brahmin and I am a Muslim. Having touched me, you must now go and bathe." But grabbing him and taking him inside, Advaita Acharya sat him on the elevated seat, at which time there was a great outcry in all directions. The Brahmin said, "By bringing a Muslim in here, you have contaminated this place and insulted us. We will not eat here." Then taking their water pots, they all stood up and left. They were abusing Advaita Acharya, saying, "You are opposed to the principles of Dharma." But Advaita Acharya said, "Today, my birth has become successful, and today my father has attained Vaikuntha. By giving respect to one Vaishnav, today millions of my ancestors have crossed over Maya. If Haridas Thakur will eat here, then that is greater than feeding millions of brahmanas. Haridas Thakur was crying, thinking, because of me, all these brahmins have been insulted and are not eating. But Advaita Acharya said, Haridas, today you will certainly take prasad here. That will be our great good fortune. Then he said to the Brahmins, he will stay and none of you will get prasad. Actually, you should all leave here quickly, because just seeing your face is a great sin. Haridas has great regard for Mahaprasad, and therefore he is included within the Vaishnava class. Anyone who doesn't accept this is an atheist, and one who judges a Vaishnava by his birth is an atheist. You can all go away from here, and then your offenses will leave with you. You are offending Haridas and offending me as well. All the scholars left the house, but outside, as they were going, they began speaking amongst themselves. Advaita Acharya is no ordinary personality. He is a great scholar. He knows all of the scriptures, and he is an exalted preacher of Bhakti. They continued deliberating, and after fully reconsidering, they returned, fell at Advaita Prabhu's feet, and begged forgiveness. One second. Oh, sorry, I haven't been looking at the comments. Hari Bol Ganga Mataji. But when we were reading about the Nimitta and Upadan, Shubhananda was saying that all this we had learned about in our syllabus in Ayurveda first year, cause and effects theory, Sankhya. Cool. Very neat. Okay, so Advaita Acharya had many sons, of which one was named Achyutananda. But because some of his other sons didn't engage in bhajan, he didn't consider them his sons at all, and he renounced them. Only those sons who performed bhajan of Bhagavan did he make his successors. Wasn't it Advaita Acharya had 3 good sons and 3 sons that were like rejected, kind of. Only those sons who performed bhajan of Bhagavan did he make his successors, especially because of one incident in Jagannath Puri. Achyutananda was made his successor. The Ratha Yatra was going on, and at that time, Achyutananda was just a small boy. Some Vaishnavas came and asked Advaita Acharya, what is the name of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's guru? He replied, Keshav Bhārati. At that time, Achyutananda was sitting in his father's lap, and upon hearing this, he began shivering with anger. He was just a small boy. Nevertheless, he got up from his father's lap and started to walk away, saying, you cannot be my father if you have such an idea. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the guru of the entire world. Who can possibly be his guru? Tears came to the eyes of Advaita Acharya, and he said, you will really be known as my son. What you have said is correct. Mahaprabhu is the guru of the entire world, but for his pastimes in human form, he must set the example for others. Otherwise, what would happen? How would the people of this world know that it is necessary to accept a guru? In this way, Advaita Acharya did many wonderful things. He was an assistant to all of the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, today we will offer a special prayer to the feet of Advaita Acharya, that he may be merciful upon us, so that we can make steady progress in bhakti and ultimately attain the direct service of Sri Gaurachandra. Jai Śrī Advaita Ācārya ki jai. Jai Śrī Achyutananda ki jai. Hare Krishna, Devangana, and Śrīvāsa is here. Great. All right, so now we're going to there's two things. One thing is we're going to read this we're going to sing this song by Ghanasham Das that I just now sent on the Gaudiya Kirtan mailing list. It's a short song, only 4 verses, about the appearance of Advaita Acharya. Maghe Shukla Titi Saptamī te Ati. And then, and we'll also read, what is it called? Advaitācārya-carita-sudhā by, what is his name? Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa. Śrīvāsa is going to show us through that some interesting facts about his appearance. So, what order should we do it? Śrīvāsa, are you ready now, or should we do the kirtan first? Okay, let's do the kirtan first because I'm not getting a response right this minute. Okay, I'm just opening this up in a new window. Hey, that's strange. Usually it gives the option to open up in a new window, but I don't see that option. So here, actually I know how to do it. And actually I need to turn off. I'm turning on musician, original sound for musicians. There. Oh, and if anybody wants the link for this song, here, I'll put it in the chat. Okay, you should all see it in the chat on YouTube, and let me put it in the chat here on Zoom. There, okay. The appearance of Advaita. I'll read the translation and then we'll sing it. In the month of Magh, in the fortnight of the waxing moon, on the 7th day, a great ocean of bliss arose. Śrī Nabhadevi's womb is blessed, for it brought forth, at the auspicious moment, the moon of Śrī Advaita. Kuver Pandit, overjoyed, gave innumerable gifts to the Brahmins and to the poor. To the birthing temple he proceeded slowly, and upon seeing his son's face, his heart felt soothed. The residents of Navagram came running and said to each other, "I have never seen anything such as this." As a result of what great piety did Mishra, in his old age, obtain such a gem of a son? The unseen demigods offered a shower of flowers, their gesture incomparable. Cheers of all glories, filled the sky. Ghanasham sings of profuse auspiciousness. All right, so I'm going to make this a bit bigger so you can all sing along. Okay, and then I'm getting my mridanga. Maghe Shukla Titi Saptamī te Ati Uttalaima. How did I sing this before? I gave a recording. Here, let's just see. I forgot the melody. I'm just gonna really quickly hear the melody, and then we can. Okay, let's see. What was the melody I sang this in?
Hari bol, everybody. I was just about to go to sleep, and then I was about to send it. I thought it's the same meter as Kabhi Habhi Bolo.
Okay, same meter as Kabhi Habhi Bolo Śrī Nama.
So this is a very informal video just for this post. Ananda Sindhu Maghe Shukla Titi.
Okay, got the melody. Sorry about that. Okay. Maghe Shukla Titi Saptamī te Ati Uttalai Maha Ananda Sindhu Maghe Shukla Titi Saptamī te Ati Uttalai Maha Ananda Sindhu Nabhagarbhadanya Kori avatirna Nabhagarbhadanya Kori avatirna Hoilo Shubhakhane Ana Advaita Indu Hoilo Shubhakhane Advaita Indu Kuvera Pandita Hoya Harashita Nanadana Dvija Daridra Diya Sutika Kuvera Pandita Hoya Harashita Nanadana Dvija Daridra Diya Sutika Mandire Giya Dhire Dhire Sutika Mandire Giya Dhire Dhire Deki Putra Mukha Judaya Hiya Deki Putra Mukha Judaya Hiya Navagrama Vasi Lokadhaya Yasi Paraspara Kahe Na Deki Heno Ki Navagrama Vasi Lokadhaya Ashi Paraspara Kahe Na Deki Heno Kiva Punya Phale Mishra Brida Kale Kiva Punya Phale Mishra Brida Kale Pailena Putra Ratana Jeno Pailen Putra Ratana Jeno Pushpa Varishan Kore Shurakan Alakita Reti Upamanahu Jai Jai Dhani Bharaloya Bani Jai Jai Dhani Bharaloya Bani Bhane Gana Sham Mangala Bahu Bhane Gana Sham Mangala Bahu Mage Shukla Titi Saptamī Te Yati Uttalai Maha Ananda Sindhu Mage Shukla Titi Saptamī Te Yati Uttalai Maha Ananda Sindhu Nabhagarbhadanya Kori avatirna Nabhagarbhadanya Kori avatirna Hoilo Shubhakhane Advaita Indu Hoilo Shubhakhane Advaita Indu Jaya Advaita Ācārya Prabhu Advaita Ācārya Advaita Ācārya Prabhu Advaita Ācārya Jaya Advaita Ācārya Prabhu Advaita Ācārya Advaita Ācārya Prabhu Advaita Ācārya. There are also two other songs. There's Jaya Jaya Advaita Ācārya Doyamoy and the Advaitashtakam, which we just prepared for the upcoming Gaudiya Giti Gucha. Let's see. How come this is so annoying? The video keeps on disappearing, so I'm not able to see who's on. I don't know why that keeps on happening. Show video panel. Okay. Yeah, so, Haribol Subhadra Didi. So Śrīvāsa, would you like to start now, or should we do more kirtan? Either way.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I don't know if you asked me before. I had to run to the bathroom.
Okay, yeah. Oh, wait. Well, let me turn on so that you can share your screen.
Are you able to share your screen now?
Oh, okay. Let me just switch then onto my computer. I'm on my phone.
Okay. And then maybe we can in the meantime we'll sing another kirtan. Jai Jai Advaita Ācārya. Let's see. What is it called? Gaudiya Giti Guchar. Big text, Gaudiya Giti Guchar. There it is. And yeah, everybody here, you'll all be able to see the Advaita Acharya Ashtakam, the new translation for the Gaudiya Giti Guchar before it's even published. Maybe we could do the Advaita Acharya Ashtakam at the end though. For now, we'll sing Jaya Jaya Advaita Acharya Doyamar. Okay. All glories to the greatly merciful Advaita Acharya. It was due to his loud roar that Śrī Gaur descended. This is written by Srila Lochan Das Thakur. He is the giver of prem, the Lord of Sita Devi, and an ocean of compassion. Due to his nectarian love, the hero of Raj came again. To whomever he wants to mercifully bestow his grace, that person sings the glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, submerged in prem ras. He who takes shelter of his lotus feet attains the supreme wealth of Gaur Prem. Lochan Das says, "Why have I not worshipped such a treasure house of mercy? Instead, I have struck my own head with a thunderbolt." Jaya Jaya Advaita Ācārya-carita-sudhā. Jaya Jaya Advaita Ācārya-carita-sudhā. Jar hun kare gaur avatara hoy. Jar hun kare gaur avatara hoy. Prema data sita nata karuna sagar. Prema data sita nata karuna sagar. Jar prema rase aila vrajer nagar. Jar prema rase aila vrajer nagar. Jahare karuna kori kripa dite chai. Jahare karuna kori kripa dite chai. Prema rase she jana chaitanya guna gai. Prema rase she jana chaitanya guna gai. Tahar padete jeba loilo sharan. Tahar padete jeba loilo sharan. She jana pailo gaur prema mahadhan. She jana pailo gaur prema mahadhan. Emona dayar nidhi kene na bhajilo. Emona dayar nidhi kene na bhajilo. Lochan bole nija mate bhajara padilo. Lochan bole nija mate bhajara padilo. Jaya Jaya Advaita Ācārya-carita-sudhā. Jaya Jaya Advaita Ācārya-carita-sudhā. Jar ho kare gaur avatara hoy. Jar ho kare gaur avatara hoy. Jaya Advaita Ācārya. Jaya Advaita Ācārya. Advaita Ācārya Prabhu Advaita Ācārya. Jai Gaura Advaita. Jai Gaura Advaita. Gaura Advaita. Jai Gaura Advaita. Oh, Hari Bol Champak Mataji. All right, Śrīvāsa, is now good?
Yeah.
Great. I'll stop sharing my screen 1 second. And then you can share yours. Do you see where to share the screen at the bottom? Okay, cool. So this is from who could you tell us a little bit about this book, like who published it? And
Yeah, so this is from Srila Bhakti Vilāsa Bhārati Mahārāja, disciple of Srila Bhaktivedānta Saraswati Thakur. He's actually the one responsible for Mayapur being specially zoned so that people can't come on picnics there and bring alcohol and meat. So he's why Mayapur is a bit of a meat-free zone in Bengal.
which is like impossible in Bengal. That must have been really difficult to accomplish that. So it's like an actual government rule, huh? That nobody can like it's against the law to have meat.
And had it passed in the courts, I guess.
Wow.
And if you go to Mayapur and you get off the main boat ghat coming from Navadip, and you go up a little bit, just past, there's an arch, and then a little Lord Shiva temple of Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, and a little bit further on the left side, as you're like headed towards Yogapit, on the left side is this beautiful little temple with Hanuman outside, ripping open his chest, and these beautiful little deities inside. And that's his temple. And he lived there, and actually Srila Bharati Maharaj helped him design that place. He was going to have his room on the outside by facing the road, and Bharati was like, no, you're a writer. You want it to be in the back, away from the crowd. And you go there, there's tons of books still that he wrote. They're still trying to sell like the old copies of books that he wrote and published. Compiled a lot of Srila Saraswati Thakur's works and many other really amazing books. And so this is one, Advaitācārya-carita-sudhā. And he talks about, he has another book that summarizes Mahaprabhu's Leela, and he talks about how Srila Saraswati Thakur instructed him or mentioned that there should be books like Chaitanya Charitamrita, or books that detail the Leelas of all the 5 Panchatattva. So he also has a book about Gadadhar Pandit. And because there's so much information about these 5 personalities. So he's compiled stories about Advaita Ācārya from different places like Bhakti Ratnakar. So the beginning is a description of different tattva, and then this here starts Jagatir Tatkalika Avastha. So the kind of what the scene was in the world, what the situation was in the world prior to the appearance of Advaita Ācārya. And it's describing how Sakala Sangsara Matta Vyavahara Rase, the whole world was maddened in materialistic rasa, Vyavahara Rasa, Krishna Puja, Krishna Bhakti Karo Nahi Base. Nobody wanted to worship Krishna or engage in Krishna Bhakti. There was a lot of Yaksha Puja and meat eating, intoxication. So Mahadurdini Sakale Bhogyan Mat, everyone was intoxicated in material enjoyment. They were completely unaware, not considering their own auspiciousness or inauspiciousness, what would be good or bad for them. Sakale Mohagrastahaya Keval Parahingsa Vyasta. Everyone was bewildered and rather violent, parahingsa, preoccupied with only violence. Esamai Jeev Dukke Dukke Parama Daradi Vaishnav Gana Hriday Vidirna Hoite Lago. The Vaishnavas who feel the sufferings of the living entities, their hearts began to be vidirna, like they were heartrent, heartbroken. Ekmatra Param Bandhav, যাদের কোমল হৃদয় জীব দুঃখে বিদীর্ণ হয় তাহাদের নিন্দায় বিমুখ গণের রোচক হইল. And there was a lot of criticism of Vaishnavas. Bhagavan Ninda, Bhakta Ninda was like তাহাদের কবিত্বের কৃতিত্ব প্রকাশ করিতে লাগিল. It was like the merit of their poetry to criticize Bhagavan and the devotees. You kind of see that today as well, you know. So ए समय महाप्रभु के आकर्षण करी आनिते पारन एमन एकजन महाशक्तिमानेर आविर्भावेर विषय प्रयोजन बोध करिया. So the son of Nrsimha, Kuber Pandit, lived in Navagram near Srihatta. In his heart, in his compassionate heart, a udipana, a desire was kindled to draw to this world such a powerful personality who could bring Mahaprabhu. Tahar tivra aradhanar phale, because of Kuber Pandit's powerful worship, Tahar griye se shaktishali purush Shri Krishna ke akarshan karite avibhut hoilen. This great powerful personality who could bring Krishna appeared. And this Kuber Pandit was previously the friend of Shiva, Kuber. And evan Kailase sadhana kariya Bhagavan Shiv ke putra rupe paiben, and had achieved a boon from Lord Shiva, having done austerities in Kailash, and achieved a boon from Lord Shiva to have him as his son. So Kuber Pandit was the Sabha Pandit, or the assembly scholar and minister of the king of Laura, Maharaj Dibya Singh. But Kuber Pandit, he wanted to live by the Ganga, so he came to Shantipur to live there with his wife, Nabha Devi. And one day, they heard some really intense Vaishnav Ninda, criticism from some Bhashtachar Pashandi, some miscreant, and they both became they were so disturbed that they decided they wanted to leave this world. They didn't want to be in this world anymore, you know, with people criticizing Vaishnavas like that. They were so disturbed by this exchange. By fate, or as Providence would have it, Vidirichai kono Bhagavat asiyatake santvana pradan kuriya. Some Bhagavat, some Vaishnav came and consoled them and shared some hopeful news, perhaps some sort of prophecy. That night, they both saw that one very large-bodied, golden, divinely radiant, very beautiful personality, along with another similar personality holding hands, came in their dream and said, "Quickly incarnate with me to deliver the fallen souls of Kali." So it sounds like this is Mahaprabhu speaking, holding Advaitacārya's hand in the dream of Kuber Pandit. And so then together, these two personalities combined. It says ubay ekatritoi, or together, they became this Mahatej, this great radiance, and entered Kuber's heart. And from Kuber's heart entered Srinabha Devi's heart. So this is from the 5th Taranga of Bhakti Ratnakar. Nidra bhang hoile, Shuddha sattva tanu vipravar nitanta vyakul hoya. So when he woke up, this Brahman, and it refers to him as Shuddha sattva tanu, that his body was pure Shuddha sattva. But he became very vyakul, anxious, agitated, trying to figure out what this dream was. Bhavilen kono mahapurush bhujita ki kripa korite asitechen. He felt that some great personality had come to have mercy on him. With tears in his eyes, he related the story of this dream to Śrī Devi. And Śrī Devi had the same dream, expressed that she had had the same sort of dream that night. So they both began to feel an unprecedented, a wondrous sense of joy, bliss, from this very auspicious dream. And from that time onward, Śrī Devi began showing signs that she was pregnant. Meanwhile, the king of Laura, Maharaj Divya Singh, came to know that Kuber Pandit, who had not had children till then, was going to have a child. And Kuber Pandit was his very good friend and well-wisher, his Sabha Pandit. And he was missing his Sabha Pandit so much. So he sent word to Kuber Pandit, begging him, pleading with him to come back to his kingdom. And so due to this, the king's very strong requests, Kuber Pandit went back to Navagram with his wife. This is also described in Bhakti Ratnakar. Elsewhere, it is described that Kuber Acharya was very disturbed by seeing the condition of the jivas and was one day immersed in meditation in the water of the Ganga. And at that time, he experienced that one great divine light entered his heart. And as if someone was saying, you should finish your austerities and go back to your homeland, with your hometown, with your wife, and there you will have an amazing Putra Ratna, Jamba son. And with this, Kuber Mishra's meditation broke. And he came home and related this to Naba Devi, who also said she'd had a similar experience. So when he came back to his hometown, word spread that he had returned, and all the villagers were delighted and greeted him. When the Acharya went to the assembly of the king was very delighted to see him after so many days. Sat him next to him very happily. Raja Sagre Kushlan asked how he was. The Acharya told him, he was well, but it was very nice to live by the Ganga. And even though he did not want to leave the banks of the Ganga and come back to this contaminated Ashuchi Desh, this impure land, he had come back simply because he could not neglect the king's request. So there's a whole exchange here between the king and Kuber Pandit. I'm gonna just breeze through this a bit. Yeah, there was one pundit who foretold that he would have one second. Yeah, there's a I don't know how much time we have. There's like there's a whole dream that Nabadevi has, and then it talks about his birth.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody at any time, if anybody needs to go, anybody's free to go. But I think
Okay.
we can today's a special day. We can go on a bit longer.
Okay.
Oh, and Indupati Prabhu is asking if Advaita Prakash is bona fide. Do you know anything about Advaita Prakash, Śrīvāsa?
We were just translating some things from Gurudev talking about Advaita Prakash. It's attributed to Ishan Nagar, but who was a disciple of Advaita Ācārya, and a very exalted Vaishnav. But there are serious doubts as to whether he actually wrote that book. So it seems that someone else later on wrote it and put his name on it. It's one of the main places where the misconception about Prabodhananda Saraswati and Prakashananda Saraswati being one, that's one of the main places that it's recorded and became popularized. And there's other issues. There's other Sahajiya philosophy in it. So it's one of the books that Srila Saraswati Thakur, at the beginning of his introduction to Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's one of the books that he kind of writes off. He says that we can't rely on the authenticity of these books. There may be some good information in them, there may be some, but we can't rely on them.
Okay. Very interesting.
So the king is speaking to Kuber Pandit. You are my well-wisher, my minister. In separation from you, everything was just seeming empty. And not even the opulence of my kingdom was not bringing me happiness. By your auspicious arrival, I'm so delighted I can't even express in words.
So I spaced out for a second when you just started that. Who's speaking to who right now?
Sorry, the king is speaking to Kuber Pandit. Kuber Pandit has just returned to Navagram, and the king is very happy to see his dear friend.
Okay. So
the Acharya, Kuber, said, your compassion, your mercy, and I am forever indebted by your kindness and the debt of your love. That is why I have left the blissful Shantipur and come here with my pregnant wife. Brahminer Garbhavarta Shavankari, when the king heard that his wife was pregnant, the king was delighted. Uber erup katopakatan hoiteche. As they were talking like this, one astrologer, one very learned astrologer, Brahmin, arrived there and said to Kuber, Acharya, apani ek devarup putna santam praptavin. You will attain one son who is like a deva, a demigod. He will live a very long time. He will know all the religious scriptures, and he will incarnate to preach pure Vishuddha Bhakti Dharma. Saying this, the astrologer left. The king immediately sent people to bring this astrologer back. Like, who was that who just walked in and made this prophecy? And but no one could find him where he had gone. He just disappeared. So everyone thought, oh, surely some demigod came to give this prophecy. Very satisfied, very happy about this prophecy. Acharya Kuver returned to his home and related everything to her, everything that had transpired, and said, all perfection is attained by worshipping. Just see, all perfection is attained by worshipping Bhagavan Vishnu. Vishnur Archane Sarva Deva Archan Hoy. By worshipping Vishnu, all the devas are worshipped. And by that, the bondage of Maya is broken, and one attains all artha, all that one desires. After some time, after some days, at the end of one night, Naba Devi had a wondrous dream. She saw that a Apurva Sumudra Jyotiman Murti, a very beautiful, radiant figure, was singing Harinam Kirtan in a very sweet voice and dancing, and in between was shouting in a very loud voice, Hare Krishna, Kiyakshan Pare Tapan Nandan Dharmaraj Asya Shashtanga Pranipat Koilan. And after some time, Tapananandan, so the son of the sun god, Dharmaraj, Yamaraj, came and offered Shashtanga pranams. Thereafter, Bahuvidhi Stavastiti, and then began offering many hymns. By your darshan and mercy, all sinful personalities will be delivered. Now tell me what I have left to do. What is there left for me to do? What is my duty now, since you're going to deliver all the sinful people? In response to that very radiant personality said, Dharmaraj, e tamo dharma kalir prabhave maya moher adikye jeev ekabare kand gyan varjit or achar prashto hoyeche. So by the power of this Kali, which is predominated by tamo dharma, by ignorance, because of an excess of maya moha, bewilderment of maya, the jivas have kanda gyan varjit. So I believe kanda gyan means the different portions of the Vedas. And so they've lost knowledge of proper Vedic knowledge. And
Kandagan, how you say like common sense also? Like Kandagan.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
common sense is what I'm used to hearing.
Okay, so it's common sense and conduct and proper conduct. Tahara swechachar koriya. They are just acting whimsically, just according to their own fleeting desires. Nidarun duk davanale nirantar dagda hoite, and they're being burnt in the forest fire of just ghastly sorrows. Tahader dusaha duk darshan, seeing their intolerable sorrow, I have become very disturbed. I have vowed, bhog rog nashak prem harinam vitrane, that I will deliver all the jivas by distributing harinam, which destroys the disease of material existence and bestows prem. And I will manifest Śrī Bhagavan on the earth from Goloka. He will appear and flood the whole world in the flood of prem. But the aparadhis, the pashandas and aparadhis, were like stones. They will not float away in that flood. The ninduks, those who engage in criticism, blasphemy, these pashandis will not be delivered. Hearing this, Dharmaraj offered his obeisances and left, because now he understood that he would still have some people to deal with, the pashandis, those who criticize the Vaishnavas, and those who are like stones and don't float in the flood of prem. So Nabhadevi related this dream that she had to Kuberacharya. And at this, the Acharya was very wonderstruck. So Avirbhav, then this is the appearance. Shri Nabhadevir Garbha Dashamash Purnohaila. So the Acharya was in the womb for 10 months. At that time, Shehata Desher Pradhan Brata Makar Saptamī. So I guess we've had Makar Sankranti, and this is Makar Saptamī. And it was a popular festival in Srihatta. Saydin
So this morning,
Samasta.
Harijan Maharaj said, Makar Saptami ki jai. So I guess it's like a
The thing,
yeah,
okay.
That's the thing.
So it must be the Makar Rashi or something. Saydin Samasta Srihatta Vasi Nitya Geet Vadyar Kolaha Sakare Maha Adambare Tahar Anushtan Karen. So all the inhabitants of Srihatta were celebrating this festival with dancing, singing, and musical instruments, a great commotion. Tadupalakshe, on that occasion, therefore, everyone was bathing, giving in charity, and chanting Hari Hari. In this way, there was a big festival going on. At this time, Nabhadevir Divya Kanti Devopam Apurva Rup Lavanyamay Ek Putratna Avirbhut Hoilan. So one gem of a sun, beautiful divine complexion, looking like a god, very beautiful, appeared. Kuberacharya's home was flooded with great bliss. Sakale Apurva Putra Darshan Kure Atmahara Hoya Gelam. Atma, everyone, when they saw the baby, they became Atmahara. It's like they lost their souls. I don't know how to say that in English. Jini se balake. Huh?
Nothing. I just said they lost themselves in ecstasy like that, right?
They lost themselves, yes. Yeah. Jini se balaker bhuvan rup darshan korilen tiri nirnimesh nayani vimugdha hoye rahilen. They were looking at the baby with unblinking eyes. Puravasi, the inhabitants of the town, and Kuver Pandit saw that boy had all auspicious characteristics. He was very golden in complexion. His arms were ajanulambit, extending to the knee. A deep navel. So I wonder if that's like a thin waist, or is it a deep belly button? Not sure. Kanjan and Nayan. Kanjan. What is Kanjan?
Oh,
Is
that was
like...
just in a song. The song that we translated yesterday, Teko Nitai Chander Madhuri. It says Nava Kunja Dala, whatever. It means lotus. Lotus.
Okay. Another word for lotus. Okay.
Yes. There's like a million words for lotus in Sanskrit.
Arunacharan, a very reddish feet, and other symptoms or characteristics of a Mahapurush, great personality. Everyone began saying, aha, how fortunate, because of such pious activities, because of worshipping Krishna, he has attained a son like this with all these extraordinary characteristics. symptoms. Blessed is Kuber Pandit, blessed is Nabha Devi, and their worship. Then Kuber Pandit remembered the prophecy that astrologer had made in the king's royal assembly and lost himself, and began thinking, this child is no ordinary child. He brought many astrologers to look at the child's Shubha-Shubh, at his chart. And they said, yeah, your son is not ordinary. The planets in his chart, we have not seen this before. This child will be the cause of the deliverance of the loka, of the world, or of the people. Jagater mangalar janya ihar janmo heche. His birth, he has been born to bring auspiciousness to the world. So the intelligent Kuber satisfied the astrologers with donations of wealth, sambhavatirikta, just like beyond possibility. Ananta Kuber Pandit Putrer Kalyanartha Brahman Deen Daridra ke Akatare Anna Vastra Swarna Rajatadi Bahuveda Dhanaratnadi Vitran Karilam. And then so for the son's benefit, for his auspiciousness, he began distributing food, clothing, and gold ornaments to the Brahmanas and to the impoverished. Even the King Divya Singh, was so delighted at the birth of his friend's son that he also began distributing clothes and ornaments and much wealth to the Brahmins and to the servants and the poor. And then this is from Bhakti Ratnakar. The Avirbhave Kumara, at the appearance of Kuber's son, this prophecy was proclaimed that that this boy will come together with Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda, will cause them to manifest on this earth, and with them subdue the Pashandas and preach prem. Jiver dukh dur koriba, he will dispel the sorrow of the jivas, make the whole world blissful, have everyone, even the chandalas, drink the nectar of Sankirtan, and will not deprive anyone. And then it goes on to his namkaran and then boyhood pastimes like that. Yeah.
Śrīvāsa, you know that story of when Advaitācārya Kamalaksha, right? That was his name, Kamalaksha. When he was made to offer pranam to the form of I forgot who it was, like
that's
form of
in
Devi.
here.
Could you read that pastime, because it's so good, that one, if you could find it.
Yeah. So it says some of his childhood pastimes, his study of grammar, teaching his classmates.
Oh, and Dainidi in Maui said that they're just starting their program now, but they were following until now, but now they have to start their program. Haribol Vidya Lalasa Didi, Gargaraj Ji, Rukmini Didi.
Haribol. Vishaka Didi. Oh, and Vidyalala Sadidi. Hare Krishna.
Balak Nahi. Vilāsa. Oh. Okay, I think this is it. Huh. Okay. It looks like he also goes into a in-depth discussion about Durga Devi's tattva to the king. He's trying to like convince the king not to make him do this.
Wow. But the king was not
It's like-
convinced, huh?
yeah. Only so it's like only the king was not. So the king was then embarrassed and had his head down. Because he had been trying to convince Kuver to do this.
Could you
So
could you
then-
just give a little introduction to the story? I don't remember exactly how did it all start first?
Yeah, okay. I have to go back to the beginning here. Oh,
Yeah, we can skip the whole long Durga explanation. If anybody
Okay,
wants to read
so-
about Durga, you can find on Big Drum. There's a article by Gurudev, really awesome article.
okay, so on the Dipanvita Amavasya, is that Dipavali? Yeah, I think that's Dipavali. There was a great big festival going on in the Kalika Alay, in the Kali temple of the king. Puja Utsav Geet Vadya Nritya Dinanavida Amod Pramod Hoite Lagilo. Big fanfare, big festival. And many people had gathered, singing, dancing. The king arrived there with his entourage. And at that time, Kamalaksha also was curious, what's going on, and arrived there. But he didn't pay pranam to Kali, and just slowly entered the king's assembly and sat down. The king noticed this, that he'd just come in and not pay pranam to Kali. And he got upset. He was like, Kamalaksha, you didn't offer pranam to Jayanti Devi, who is worshipable for the whole world. She is the origin of all Shakti, the source of all Shakti. She's worshipable to all jivas and deserves their pranam. Do you not accept this? Kamalaksha very humbly said, King, Swayam Bhagavan Shri Krishna alone is my worshipable deity. He alone is the object of everyone's pranam and the only worshipable object of everyone. If you offer pranam to him, then automatically all devas and devis are honored. There's no need to offer pranam to anyone else separately. And therefore none of them get upset with you. But if you don't honor Krishna and worship Krishna and offer pranam to Krishna, then the devas and devis will be upset with you. So he goes right away into explaining this. Okay. According to Krishna And yeah, Krishna devotees do not offer pranam to anyone other than Krishna. Otherwise, this would mean some sort of lacking of nishtha and one-pointedness. Yeah, okay, so hearing this, the king became infuriated, and said, Kamalaksha, you don't understand real tattva. So those who neglect the devas and devis, the devas and devis are a special form of Brahma. They become very sinful people. They neglect the devas and devis. So this starts a whole debate, really long debate between the king and Kamalaksha. He starts quoting Brahma Samhita here. This must be the extended version of this story. Oh, then there's discussion of the Kritivas Ramayana. Because there's a story in the Kritivas and the Bengali Ramayana about Ram worshipping Durga and offering one of his eyeballs as a lotus flower.
Whoa, I've never heard that story before.
Yeah. Every day he would offer 108 lotus flowers to Durga. And then one day Durga Devi wanted to test Ram. This is a bogus story. So she hid one of the lotus flowers, but Ram, out of his extraordinary devotion, took an arrow and popped out his own lotus-like eyeball and offered it.
Oh my God.
It's a completely horrible, morbid story.
The story. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So the king was quoting that story, huh?
Yeah. This is Gurudev talks about this also. Okay, yeah, Narad Pancharatra. Yeah, goes into the whole tattva, Vishnu Shakti Sita Devi. Oh, interesting that the whole topic of Sita Devi comes up here.
They had a real full-on debate, huh? Like a proper long debate.
Okay, so hearing this, everyone was just astounded. And began to think this boy is no ordinary human. Everyone was delighted.
I wonder how old Kamalaksha was at this point. Was he like 10 years old?
Says he was a balak.
Okay.
Boy. So only the king was embarrassed because he'd been defeated in the debate by this boy. And Kuver Pandit, of course, is the friend of this king. And he is trying to pacify the king because his son just smashed him in debate. And said, Kamalaksha, what's the point of all this debate? Tumi Maharaja Santosh Vidhane Janya. Why don't you just one time just pay pranam to Devi just to satisfy the king? So even his father is trying to convince him to offer pranam. Say Vaishnav Dharma Sabare Pranati. It is Vaishnav Dharma to offer respects to all. Then Kamalaksha, in order to teach the king, Pranam Devarjanya or Pita Adeshe Bolilen, and to follow his father's order to offer pranam. So this was the condition the only condition he would do this, to teach the king and to follow his father's order. Acha, ami ekhoni jaiya devike pranam koritechi dekhon ki phal hoy. Okay, I'm going to go now for pranam to the Devi. You guys see what's going to happen. Ei bolia, saying this, Kamalaksha went before the Devi and offered pranam. Kamalaksha is Mahavishnu, the incarnation of Mahavishnu and Sadashiv. How can Devi accept the pranam of her Prabhu? Amini akasmat se prastar mai murtir anga virdirna vibhinna or mahashabde bhupatit hoila. Instantly, the deity, stone deity, exploded with a great sound, and you know, pieces of rock flew everywhere. Everyone was astounded at this very inauspicious event, and stunned. And the Raja was like, "What happened? What happened? Sarvanash Ghatilo, everything is ruined." Began crying and fell on the ground. You asked for it, buddy. Parishad Varga Raja Ravasthadarashniva, the king's entourage was totally distressed seeing the king's condition. And so there was a huge commotion in the temple. And Kamalaksha just went home.
That's great.
Oh, and then he consulted with his father, and they decided it was best they didn't stay there a moment longer. The king was was a Pashanda and would have to endure great suffering. This Raja Papurna hoyeche, this kingdom has become full of sin. And many calamities and inauspicious things will come and ruin the peace here. It'll be a place of sorrow. So we should go back to Shantipur, our actual homeland, okay, and place of your peace. So that's when they decided to go back to Shantipur. Interesting.
Oh, very interesting. That was a very significant event then.
Yeah.
In Advaita Acharya's life. Oh.
That would do it, eh? You explode the king's deity. Wow. Jai Advaita Acharya Prabhu ki jai.
Jai. Wow, that was really fascinating.
Yeah, it's a quite a big book. 232 pages.
Wow.
All about Advaita Acharya. It includes all his pastimes with Mahaprabhu from, you know, Chaitanya Bhagavat and Chaitanya Charitamrita, but it's written like a novel, or written like a, yeah. There's no verses really.
Wow. What a treasure. I never knew about this book until just now.
Yeah, only in Bengali.
Great. All right, so maybe we can end with the Advaitashtakam. So, okay, cool. Great.
Should I turn off my screen?
Yeah, if you do that, then I can share my screen.
I'll share, okay.
Oops, I should open it up. Okay. All right, so everybody's gonna see this translation before it's ever been published. I think Śrīvāsa, you translated this one, I think, right? Yeah. Śrīvāsa translated this for the Gaudiya Giti Gucha. And new songs, where is it? Panchatattva, Advaitashtakam. Okay, so this isn't, I think this might be close to complete, but let's just see. Wait, let me make the text a bit bigger so that you can all see nicely. Oh yeah, some exciting news regarding the songbook. This just happened like the other day, but we're going to be adding in a ton of songs now. Well, I mean, it's not been totally confirmed. I just spoke with a couple people in GVP and they're really into the idea. But yeah, it looks like we're going to be printing the songbook. What am I saying? We're going to be printing the songbook using Bible paper, and then we'll be able to fit in a lot of extra kirtans. So that way we won't have to keep on adding in songs every edition, but we'll just have everything that we ever could want. So this is the Advaitashtakam written by Srila Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. To compel Śrī Gaur to incarnate, Śrī Advaita worshipped him on the banks of the Ganga with offerings of Ganga water, tulsi leaves, varieties of flowers, and shouts of loving entreaty. I take shelter of that Śrīla Advaita Ācārya. His roars produced surges in the ocean of divine love that attracted the Lord of Goloka, Śrī Gaurachandra, to incarnate in Śrī Navadvip. I take shelter of that Śrīla Advaita Ācārya. By prompting the advent of Śrīla Chaitanya Chandra, he has flooded the world with a divine love that is rarely attained by even Brahma and other demigods. I take shelter of that Śrīla Advaita Ācārya. By his mere order, the fountainhead of all potencies, Śrī Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, disappeared. His compassionate actions are most mysterious. I take shelter of that Śrīla Advaita Ācārya. He brought Mahaprabhu to this world, and then he's also was the cause of Mahaprabhu disappear. We just heard that from Gurudev's class. The expansions of his expansions are renowned as Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, who oversee creation, maintenance, and dissolution. He is none different from Mahavishnu. I take shelter of that Śrīla Advaita Ācārya. It's interesting, it says his expansions of expansions includes Vishnu. In some scriptures, he is referred to as Shambhu because he is Ashray Tattva, or the original principle of Shambhu. He is worshipful for all and attainable only through one pointed devotion. I take shelter of that Śrīla Advaita Ācārya. His beloved is Sita Devi, who is divine love in full, and his son is Śrī Achyutananda, who is filled with the current of divine love for Śrī Gaur. I take shelter of that Śrīla Advaita Ācārya. Yeah, and I found out in our Chaitanya Bhagavat readings, we found that Advaita Ācārya had two wives. One is Sita Devi, Sita Thakurani, and the other was, I think, Śrī Devi. I think that was her name. And it explains something about them both, but I have such a bad memory. Anyways, he is known as Advaita because he is none different from Sriman Nityananda Prabhu. He is known as Acharya because he is always expounding on the topic of bhakti. That's cool. I haven't heard that explanation. Now he's called Advaita because he's none different from Nityananda Prabhu. He is Acharya because he is always expounding on the topic of bhakti. His heart is forever surcharged with the power of Śrī Gaur Hari. I take shelter of that Śrīla Advaita Ācārya. A person who properly recites this ashtak about the Lord of Sita every day in the morning with a pure mind and loving devotion will attain devotion to his lotus feet and endear himself to Śrī Gaurachandra. Jai Śrī Advaita Ācārya ki jai. Okay, so now let's see how to sing this. What meter is this? Ganga tire tat payo bistulasya. Okay, it's the same as Gurvashtakam. One second, okay, just turned on sound for musicians. Okay, and then after this, we will end our program. Okay. I think this is the first time I'm ever singing this, so I might mess up a bit. Ganga tire tat payo bistulasya patrai pushpai prema hunkara goshai prakatyartam goram aradhayadhya Śrīla Advaitācāryam etam prapade Śrīla Advaitācāryam etam prapade Yadhunkarai prema sindor vikarai Akrishna san gora gola golokanata Avirbhuta Śrī Navadvipamade Śrīla Advaitācāryam Śrīla Advaitācāryam etam prapade Śrīla Advaitācāryam etam prapade Pramadinam durlabam prema purar Adinam ya plavayamasa lokam Avirbhavya Śrīla Chaitanya Chandram Śrīla Advaitācāryam etam prapade Śrīla Advaitācāryam etam prapade Śrī Chaitanya Sarva Shakti Prapurno Yasyaiva Gyamatra Tontar Dadepi Durvigyayam Yasya Karunya Krityam Śrīla Advaitācāryam etam prapade Śrīla Advaitācāryam etam prapade Srishti Stiti Yantam Vidhatum Sorry, let me try again. Srishti Stitantam Vidhatum Pravritta Yasyam Shanksha Brahma Ishvarakya, sorry about that. Yena Bhinam Tang Mahavishnu Rupam Śrīla Advaitācāryam etam prapade Śrīla Advaitācāryam etam prapade Kasminśchidya Shruyate Chashrayatvat Shambhoritam Shambhavannamadhama Sarvaradhyam Bhakti Matraika Sadhyam Śrīla Advaitācāryam etam prapade Śrīla Advaitācāryam etam prapade Sita Namni Preyasi Prema Purna Putro Yasyapyachutananda Nama Śrī Chaitanya Prema Pura Prapurna Śrīla Advaitācāryam etam prapade Śrīla Advaitācāryam etam prapade Nityananda Advaita Todvaita Nama Bhaktyakyanadya Sadacārya Nama Shashvachita Sancharad Goradhama Śrīla Advaitācāryam etam prapade Śrīla Advaitācāryam etam prapade Prata Prita Pratyaham Sampathedya Sita Natasyashtakam Shuddha Buddhi Soyam Samyaktasya Padaravende Vendan Bhaktim Tat Priyatvam Prayati Śrīla Advaitācāryam etam prapade Śrīla Advaitācāryam Śrīla Advaitācāryam etam prapade Śrīla Advaitācāryam etam prapade Śrīla Advaitācāryam etam prapade Śrīla Advaitācāryam etam prapade Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Jai Mahavishnu Avatara Advaita Ācārya Mahavishnu Avatara Advaita Ācārya Jai Mahavishnu Avatar Advaita Ācārya Mahavishnu Avatar Advaita Ācārya Jai Gaura Advaita Jai Gaura Advaita Gaura Advaita Jai Gaura Advaita Jai Gaura Advaita Jai Gaura Advaita Gaura Advaita Jai Gaura Advaita Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shishmar Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja Śrīla Gurudev ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shishmar Bhaktivedānta Vāman Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shishmar Bhaktivedānta Swāmī Mahārāja Śrīla Prabhupada ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Śrīla Gaurkishora Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Rupa Anugaurya Guru Varga ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta Dasagurnath Sharda Goswami Prabhu ki Jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki Jai. Namachay Śrīla Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Śrī Advaita Śrīvāsa Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki Jai. Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Radha Kund Shama Kund ki Jai. Shri Muna Devi Ganga Devi ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Devi ki Jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki Jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki Jai. Jai Shri Mahavishnu Avatar Śrī Advaita Ācārya ki Jai. Jai Śrī Advaita Saptamī Titi ki Jai. Titi Palankari Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Jai Jai Jai. Jai Shri Sita Thakurani ki Jai. Shri Devi ki Jai. Shri Advaita Ācārya's parents, what is it? Kuber Pandit and Nabadevi ki Jai. Achyutananda ki Jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Shantipur Dham ki Jai. Shri Advaita Bhavan ki Jai. Jai Advaita Avirbhav Lila ki Jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Navagram ki Jai. Also, right? That's where he appeared. Right. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat Pranams, everybody. Wow, many people joined today. Dandavat Pranams, Nri Hari Prabhu and Bhavatarani Mataji, Krishna Mai Didi, Subhadra Didi, Devangna Sharmaji, Śrīvāsa, Champak Mataji, and let's see on YouTube and Facebook. There's about 20 people there. Let's see. Kishore Prabhu. Oh, and happy birthday, Kishore Prabhu. And Vangsiwala Prabhu, Shubhananda Prabhu, Rup Manjari Didi, and Nitai. And who else? Hari Priya Didi, Sudevi Didi, Ganga Mataji, Dayanidhi Prabhu, oh my God, Vishaka Didi, Raseshwari Mataji, Indupati Prabhu, Gargaraj Ji, Vidyalalasa Didi, and wow, lots of comments. Wow, Haribol. Oh, and Indira Mataji, Haribol. Yes, and also I mentioned in the beginning, but today is also the birthday of the late Srimati Deva Mai Didi, Rukmini Didi and Rukmanjari Didi's mother. And right now, Rukmini Didi is working on putting together, she's going through the book that Deva Mai Mataji, she compiled, she wrote about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, his like a biography of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, and many articles and discourses and letters and all that she translated by him. Before it was published by Mandala Media as a really large book. It's called Bhaktisiddhanta. It had it written sideways, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and it had a big picture of him. I'm not sure if any of you have seen that, but it's been out of print for a very long time. And so in 13 days from now, I think, well, I have to confirm with Rukmini Didi, but it will be republished, that book. And so, today's the day that she took birth. And all right, Dandavat Pranams, everybody. Hare Krishna. See you all tomorrow. Tomorrow we are continuing on reading from Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. Very exciting part. Now, I think tomorrow in our reading, Mahaprabhu will finally come and like Mahaprabhu will finally meet with the Qazi. After that, it's such a dramatic chapter. Like one of the most dramatic parts of Chaitanya Bhagavat, I think. Yeah, it was really awesome. So we'll continue reading from that tomorrow. All right. Hare Krishna, everybody. Dandavat Pranams. Haribol. And thank you so much, Śrīvāsa, also for sharing all this. Anytime, any special TT, anytime you've come across anything cool, you're always welcome to do this. It's really, really a real treat.
Thanks for having me.
Haribol. And before I stop, because Śrīvāsa doesn't ever promote himself very much, and so I need to do it for him. But there's Śrīvāsa has a website, bigdrum.us, and he's always sending out very interesting things that he finds and translates. I highly recommend that you sign up to bigdrum.us, and you'll get in your inbox all these special things translated into English for the first time. So, all right, Haribol. There's something extra special coming up for Param Gurudev's Vyas Puja also. That's just around the corner. So don't delay. Bigdrum.us. All right, Haribol.